We're back for season 2 of Impact, Project Periwinkle's podcast. I'm Danielle.
I'm Ben.
And we have our fellow board member Julia with us here today. We have a...
Hey.
Take it away, Julia. Maybe give them a little intro.
Yes, I was actually on season 1, episode 3, if you remember that. But I am on the board since the beginning, and I am also the secretary and one of the chief transformation officers. Happy to be back.
Great to have you.
Excited to have her.
So this season, we're going to be putting things on a video format. So YouTube, some Instagram reels, still on Spotify. But I think the video component will be good, especially for when we start adding more guests, which I think we're going to try to get a guest every single episode. So I'm excited for that. Danielle, I know we have some good ones lined up.
Yeah, we have a lot of good stuff. It works.
Yeah. So it's May 14th right now. We just finished our fiscal year on April 30th, which was a pretty big year. So I'm extremely excited for talking about that and excited for the team and proud of the team for everything that we did. So I know we all play some sort of leadership role. Danielle is our Chief Impact Officer. And like Julia mentioned, she's our Chief Transformation Officer. So a lot of the different initiatives for Project Periwinkle 2025 that we've been putting in place. But I think we could start with maybe what each of our favorite or most proud moments of the year was.
I'll jump in here. So I get to help plan some of the events. I'm on the event committee, and I know we've had a couple successful events, and we'll talk about one of them more in depth. But the one that I wanted to point out was our one in the fall, just because I was able to actually be in attendance and see all the work kind of in action there. And it was just really awesome to like have this community come together. So it's not like when I started, I did live in St. Louis, and now I live in another state. So just being able to regroup on like that friendship level with people, and then also bring like new faces in, and then see some of the old people that have always been involved from the start, and see the new people get the new ideas. So really just seeing one of the many visions that we have come to life was really exciting for me.
Yeah, it's really cool to see how we've grown over the years. And, you know, I was not involved quite from the start, but I definitely saw things from a friend view of Ben. And then still feel like I got involved pretty early on. But it's been very cool to see things transform over the years. But I think, you know, it's really, we're doing more events than we've done before, which just means, you know, more awareness and raising more money for the cause, which is really exciting. And we just had a really cool event later.
We'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah, I think you two kind of took mine. I think the growth and the just the overall momentum we're building. Being where I'm at in that interesting space, I started the organization, and I remember it literally being nothing. So being able to look back and see now we're writing checks for $50,000, $40,000 a year. We're traveling places. We're meeting with doctors on a regular basis. We are connecting with those in the community. We have events that it seems like every event we have, it gets bigger and bigger, and there's different people there. So I think for me, it's that transformation side of it. Definitely the proudest and most exciting part, I think, for me is seeing that growth and that real turning a dream where you have maybe points or ideas on a paper and having it come to life is absolutely amazing. So I have a great team, which I think, you know, both of you play a huge part in that, but I think being able to continue to grow the organization is definitely the item for me at the top of the list.
I think it's cool too, like just in talking with people, it like comes up casually in conversation, and it's like like literally every day you can get more and more people involved and educated on it. So just the ease of spreading the word too, maybe.
Right, and people see everything
Yeah.
online. I like someone I mentioned it to somebody, the organization, and they're like, "Oh, that's you? I see it everywhere. I see it on social media, and I had no idea that was you." Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
you have that bit of it where you might know the name, but you
Mhm.
don't really know the cause, or you don't know the people involved, and then
Yeah.
kind of full circle. So that's awesome. And we were just in Nashville, where Danielle is. My
Yeah.
brother and I, we went down in January.
Yeah.
So that was exciting to visit Vanderbilt and hear from some of the doctors that we've supported. And it's been a couple of years, but we gave to them financially in 2020. And our gift was right after kind of everything started to shut down. So we weren't able to go for a site visit, which looking back was difficult, but I think being able to see everything that they're doing now and kind of that continued conversation about the importance of our work and the momentum and how it's evolving just beyond gastric cancer was pretty cool to see. And then we got to see you too, so that was cool.
I was glad to have you here. Yeah, it's really cool to be able to reach out to more centers and be able to learn about the different things that they're doing because that ultimately helps us help them in our mission. So very cool.
Yeah. And then some of like the pieces of that building on our 2025 initiative, we're a little bit far off from that $1 million, but I think what are conversations worth? And you start conversations with people and they're telling somebody, or maybe they tell two people, or they invite people to their table, and it's growing conversations that I think will have a huge impact in return, kind of on the back end. So, but a lot more people are touched by our work than I think we initially had ever thought, which is remarkable. So that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Julia brought up the event, so I kind of want to touch on that, the one that we just had this past weekend.
Yeah. So spent how many months? How many weeks planning?
Like 5 or 6. Yeah. It was right after that November event we started planning for.
Yeah, that's true. A super team.
Yeah, same events committee for like 2 years that we've had. 4 of us.
Things are going well, but
yeah,
playing something a little different. So before we were able to plan a trivia night, which is a huge deal in St. Louis.
Yeah, we had that first one in January of last year. Mm-hmm. First trivia night that we did, and it was at SLU in their business school, and got a lot of good feedback. And then I'd see people out, hey, when's the next trivia? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know, we don't have one planned. And then that November event, it was still fun, and we still raised a lot of money, but there wasn't that event component or that excitement there. And then we started getting this one on the calendar. But we had 100 people, which I know you weren't able to come down this time, but we had 100 people, and we had set that goal at $5,000, which I think without a silent auction this time around and having slightly less people attend, but we went from 125 to 100. Like, all right, that's good. Now, obviously, the economy is playing a huge part in what people give. So I thought 5,000 was achievable, but within reason.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm putting together the slideshow for we like sponsors and everything. And I wanted to put one of those meters on there. And I'm like, wow, I'm not even there yet. We're already at 92%. And we shattered the $5,000 goal by like 20 minutes after doors opened. And then we're like, what do we want to do? And let's raise it to $7,500. And we broke that. And we raised $8,200, which I think, the last event we raised just over $10,000. So without a silent auction, fairly comparable. But it just goes to show the excitement, the extremely generous and kind participation from so many people, especially everybody that's been new the past couple of years that has supported us. But at the end of the day, everybody's touched by cancer, and we've begun to support research that's gone beyond gastric cancer. It's helped pancreatic cancer research. It's moved up to different parts of esophageal and upper GI types of cancers, and everybody's touches it, but then you start to really realize the stories and things, and that's remarkable. So when my parents were here, my brother came, which he lives in town, so it's not that much of an ask, but my parents were here. It was Jeannie, who's on our events committee, Mike. It was overall a good event, very, very fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you brought up a good point. Like, we had a lot of returning people and some people that had been to the trivia in the past that were really looking forward to it. But then again, just like finding more and more people that want to be involved. And so it was music trivia for this. So I also think that just in general was a good topic because you were able to get such a range of people involved with it.
And the strategies, the multi-generational tables.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's the first round was Taylor Swift music,
Oh,
which like threw a bunch of people off. The older generation, or the generation that's not in their 30s, I guess, was a little bit thrown off. But it was good. And we didn't do drink tickets this time. We did buckets, which I thought was easier, but also more fun because you get more variety. You get to build what you want. And then
it's like a big family party,
Yeah, and people were bringing in all sorts of food, which was cool because we encouraged that. But you had like different appetizers people brought in for their table, and we had seltzers and like Bud Light and Michelob Ultra and Neutrals, and we have all sorts of stuff. And oh my gosh, there's so many flavors, and we love all this stuff. So it was great. And then on top of that, I mean, it was great weather, which it was inside, but still. But it was overall a great weekend. And then I got to see my mom on Mother's Day, which is nice.
Yeah,
better.
After.
Happy.
Yeah, which people want her on another episode.
Yeah.
I've been getting emails about bring her back.
Yeah.
Bring Kathy back.
Yeah, so we'll have to have her again on the show. But
yeah,
it was a good event. So I'm excited for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Which
so what's the next one?
Yeah, we had to save the date. Well, so the actual next one, we're not throwing one in between, but the actual next one's going to be our gala in April of next year, April 26th, 2025, at the St. Louis Zoo.
Oh, it's at Zoo. I didn't know it was at Zoo.
Yeah, well, we just started talking about it, so we just booked it last week.
Sweet.
And, this will be a good one because it's going to be a little bit different than what we've done before. Like cocktail attire, silent auction, huge silent auction. But it's also our 10th year anniversary. So I want to do like a 10-year anniversary party, silent auction, 150 people would be great, dinner, it'd be a pretty good time. So that's going to be our next one, which I think a lot more planning is going to go into that one than what we've done before. But I'm super excited. We've done a lot of cool things in the past 10 years, and I want to be able to highlight it all and talk about it and showcase everything that we should be proud of. So
I think
save the date.
Mesh up of everything, and as you said before, 150 might be it's a big goal, but you've shattered all the goals in the past, so we'll probably be in the same position this time next year.
Yeah, and it'll be good. So if you're out of town,
save the date.
This is for our listeners. You can fly in, you can drive in, you can take a train.
Yeah.
But all are welcome. More details will be coming out on our website, I'm sure, this fall. But we have the date, we have the location. It's just going to be getting those details together. But I'm excited. It'll be good.
I know, it'll be awesome. It's, like you said, it's different than something we've done, but it'll be the same familiar, end goal and people involved. So,
but a good reason to celebrate 10 years. It's hard to believe.
I know. We've done 7 program fundings, 4 cancer centers. And I remember sitting in one of I think it was either the business school or one of the dorms or something. I was like telling Julia when we were in college 10 years ago, so I want to do this. Are you in on it? And I think looking back, I think we would have hoped we would have been at least some realm of where we are now, but I could not ever have imagined where we would have been today.
No, I agree. I think back to, not always, but when I do think back to it, I picture myself like in that moment that you were telling me. I was like, okay, yeah, what do you need? And no idea where it was going or where we were going even. So
yeah, and then Danielle, I know you came in a little bit later, but we were friends then, so you.
Yeah, I remember you were filming stuff for like a promo video, and you asked me to help with that, and we were like shooting it. Like, I think it was near the library. Like,
yep.
But I
found that in my camera roll the other day because I never delete anything from my phone.
The memory of that is like so clear in my brain, and then like reflecting on that, like we had no idea where any of this was going, and I was like, sure, I don't know how to help you, but if this is how you need help, I would gladly do it.
Yeah. Well, and then and I think we were just friends then, but I think later on when you became part of the organization, that definitely was I think that commitment, that friendship, that wanting to be a part of it definitely was still there, but it's that continued wanting to make the world around you a better place, which I think we all want to contribute to. So a lot of exciting things, and we've built a huge organization that's doing a lot of cool things. So 200, well, this is as of April 30th because we just finished that fiscal year we're talking about, but $257,000 is how much we've raised, which is wild.
That is
wild.
And hit them with the facts, Ben, because how much of that goes back to the organization?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. So we, which I have, if you're watching the video online right now or on YouTube, you're going to see probably me glancing at my phone, but I have slides from our Instagram that I'm looking at, but we're 100% volunteer based. So every dollar that we raise goes back, and obviously you're going to have some sort of overhead. We don't have an office, so biggest ones cut out. We don't take salaries, and other ones big cut out. So you're really left with like postage and paying for our website and like our post office box, and like insurance, and that's it. But we've increased revenue every year. We've increased kind of what we have in our cash reserves every year. So out of that $257,371.29 to be exact. Over a third of it has been raised in the past year, which is great. And over half of it's been raised in the past 24. So when we look back at like 2021-ish, I know when I came to our team and I said, okay, this is what struggles we have with the industry right now. Here's where a lot of the nonprofits are suffering because of the impacts from COVID or the economy or poor financial decisions or massive amounts of debt, like whatever we want to throw in the equation. We had a lot of good things on our side. We don't have debt. We don't have an office. We don't have salaries to pay for. We don't have a lot of these big expenditures that a lot of organizations have. So we looked at what position we were in, and we kind of lined up a strategy for the next, at that point it was the next 4 years. So we have like a year left on that. And part of that was to raise $1 million, which we're very well off from that goal, which I hope we can get there in the next, 12 months. But just to show that we've raised that amount of money, and almost over half of it's been in the past 2 years, is just huge. So other statistics, overhead, 18% goes to overhead. So that doesn't include events because those are allocated a little bit differently with the budgets. And then we have some restricted donations that we get that cover certain items. So you have to spend it on certain things. So we don't count that in the overhead, but 18%, which is down over a quarter of a percentage point from last year. We have over $80,000 in liquid cash right now, which we've kind of shifted to treasury bills and things that are like short term. Very, very secure. If the United States government were to crumble, then that's when we would lose our money, but very secure investments that we can kind of take advantage of some of the interest rates. 73 countries is how far our reach has gone.
Yeah.
And then we have a team of 14 volunteers. And Danielle mentioned more events, and I kind of touched on how we're traveling more, all of which is paid for by privately funded donations. So this doesn't come from general public support. But team traveled just under 8,000 miles this year for site visits. So that's pretty cool too, to be able to kind of quantify how much you travel and where you go and what you do and who you meet and everything. So that's pretty cool. So those are the stats.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah, those are really exciting stuff.
So for our listeners, you can go onto our Instagram or Facebook account, and all of the texts are there with comparisons from last year. But our annual report is going to be coming out, I think, next month. One of those nice paper ones. So if you gave
that's always
to our organization May through April, you're going to get a nice little paper one in the mail. But yeah, those are pretty cool. You like getting those in the mail?
Yeah, I do. Well, even the pictures in them are really nice.
Yeah.
But it is nice. It's like, the whole recap. You're like, oh, I do remember.
Yeah. Well, we all have a lot going on. Like I'm in it every day, and you two touch it most days, if not every day as well. So if you're just the average supporter who's not like super into what we do on like every hour of the day, and you get this report and it's a summary of all the things that we've accomplished, and you have it in one place, and then also knowing that you supported the organization and you can see a reflection of yourself in every single decision we made, every single milestone we made, every advancement in research. That's the coolest part, is to being able to give somebody a pretty much a summary of here's what you made possible over the past 12 months, because none of it would be able to happen if it wasn't for the people that support our mission and believe in our work and allow us to believe in other programs and researchers.
Completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Learn and grow.
So why don't we start wrapping it up, and maybe what we're each excited for either the podcast season, and then the what we're excited for the next year that we just kicked off.
Okay. Podcast season. I don't even know who all the guests are that you guys are thinking of, so I'm just excited to hear the guests. The different angles that people have to bring in, because we all have such different personalities. So whether they're internal or some other people, I think that would be cool.
So speaking of the guests, I'm excited for the podcast because of the guests that we're bringing on, and I'm not going to spoil who's coming on.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
But we have a lot of really exciting things, and I think it's going to be different from season 1, and we're going to definitely get to hear more about the research that we're supporting, which, as a science nerd, I'm really excited for that.
Let's see. I think probably the guest list, which we haven't finalized yet, so I don't even know all of them. But I think looking at the ones that we have booked, and then the ones that Danielle and I have on our list tentatively, and then the other opportunities. I think one of the biggest pieces of feedback mixed with the biggest opportunity that we've seen coming off of last season is, and this isn't just for the podcast, but it's in general, is people who listen, who give, who support. They want to hear from people that are involved from a bigger angle. So whether it's testimonials, whether it's stories, or right from the researchers or right from the physicians who lead the programs. I think that there's definitely good opportunity to have some of that touched on. But I'll leave it at that as far as our guests. But I think we all pretty much have the same excited for the podcast.
Yeah.
And then to bring it back, we'll end with Julia. The thing I'm most excited for this year, I think, is the continued growth in shaping lives for the better that we have. We are a nice, I have a unique angle because I see the mail and I see the emails I get, but what we do for people and how it touches people's lives. We're not just some organization out there that's raising money and contributing here or there. We are one that I know for a fact has made a positive impact on others. So being able to continue to do that and know that we make a difference for others, I'm probably the most excited for that and continuing that. And then probably ending with the gala. I'm really excited for the big party, 10 years. So a lot to be looking forward to during, and then one thing to look forward to at the end of this next 12 months.
Lots of exciting things, and definitely save the date, April 26th, 2025. All right.
Well, I think for me, wait real quick, because I wanted to say this, because I was thinking of this and I looked through it a lot. But on a superficial level, I think our swag is just like constantly improving, from like water bottles to phone cases, t-shirts, whatever. So I think there's always something that you can give to people on there. And then something that like I've noticed more in my day-to-day life that I think I'll just like continue to see, and I'm excited to see like where it is at the end of this year, is like how we've like expanded into other opportunities. So like joining other like events that are happening, or just partnering with different people beyond even just like some of the centers that we've donated to. But I think that it's just cool to see like how far we can reach with the organization.
Great to
Who
end
knew
on
we'd be
that.
partnering with the zoo?
I know. I'm looking excited. I'm really excited for that, and it'll be a good year. So follow us on social media. We're gonna start putting these, I think, up monthly. We're doing a monthly podcast schedule. There's not a specific date, but once a month. YouTube, there'll be reels, things like that. But we're on Spotify. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, projectperiwinkle.org.
Usual,
Yeah, and we always have stuff on our store, so get your merch. And thank you to everyone that continues to listen and support our organization. And next month we'll see you on the next episode.
Love it.
Bye.
Right. Bye.